Okay, so we're going to review. Next time is you're going to review in class or have a test. Oh my gosh, we're so ready for this. So first of all, we're going to just solve each equation. I'm not going to go through every step really slowly. I'm just going to write it down. Remember, there is no plus or minus, so we're going to use multiplication or division. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to use 7 over 2. Top, bottom leaves me with x. Over here, you're either multiplying negative 16 times 7, which is negative 112 over 2, and then you're dividing, so you get negative 56. Or remember, 2 goes into 2 ones, 2 goes into negative 16, negative 8 times, and you go right to negative 56. Okay, on these, you're looking at the side that has the plus or minus, and you are taking care of the number that is with the variable. It's a positive 8, so we're going to do a negative 8, which means subtract 8. 13 minus 8 is 5. Be careful, that leaves me with a negative x, and you need to put a 1 there, negative 1x. So we're going to divide everything by negative 1. So negative 5 is equal to x. Over here, this is the side that has the variable. There's the number without the variable, the 6. It's a minus 6, so we're going to add 6. Leaves you with x over 3. 5 plus 6 is 11. Once we're done with addition or subtraction, we're going to multiplication or division. This is division, so we're going to multiply. The reciprocal is 3 over 1, which is just 3. Bottom top. So x is equal to 33. Solve the inequality. Remember, when you solve the inequality, you also have to graph. So over here's the side that has the x. There is no plus or minus, so I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So x is less than negative 5. Remember, if you multiply or divide by a negative number, that's when you flip the sign. It's not if there's a negative number in the problem. When you're looking at the x, if it has a negative number being multiplied or divided, that's when you flip. Then we're going to graph that. Negative 5, it's an open circle. X has the little point with the little numbers are to the left. We're going to distribute here. So that's negative 8x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, is less than or equal to 4. This is the side that has the variable. We're going to get rid of that minus 12 by adding 12. Remember, at this point, we don't even worry about changing the sign. It doesn't happen until we multiply or divide. This is when we do that. The number with the x is negative, so we're going to have to flip the sign. And we get x is greater than or equal to, so it's closed. Greater than or equal to goes to the right where we want the bigger x's. Solving the equation, think how many answers you should expect for each one. Do you see 2 stickies? 2 stickies means you have 2 answers. We're going to set up 2 separate equations. X plus 3 is going to equal 7. Remember, that means that x plus 3 walks 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, something disappeared there. 7 over here, so it lands at 7. If it goes left 7, x plus 3 is going to land at negative 7. Then you just solve the regular old way. We get x equals 4. There's one answer. Solve the regular old way. We get x equals negative 10. There's the other answer. You have to check, remember, when you have to check is when you have a variable outside the absolute value, which we do not have here, so we don't have to actually check it. 2 sticks, first of all, the first thing is the absolute value alone. Remember, it has to be absolute value equal, and then you got other stuff over here. It is alone. But look, the absolute value equals negative 5. That cannot be done. So this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. It is no solution. Remember, that's your symbol for no solution. Okay, we cannot start doing this when you cannot distribute into absolute value. Absolutely never change that absolute value. Absolutely nothing touches it. So you've got a times 2 out here. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. leaves me with the absolute value of 6x minus 1 is equal to 7. Because everything's positive outside, I can go ahead and set up 6x minus 1 goes to the right, it lands at 7. 6x minus 1 goes to the left, it lands at negative 7. Remember, what's inside gets repeated both times. One's the positive number and one's the negative number. Then we just solve it. So 6x is equal to 8. We divide by 6. 8 over 6 can be divided by 2. It actually equals 4 over 3. You don't want to go to a decimal because you get 1.33333333. Don't like that. Don't like that. We're going to add 1 here. So 6x is equal to negative 6. Divide by 6. We get x equals negative 1. Because we don't have a variable outside, we can stop. All right, proportions in your head. Remember, with proportions, you're thinking cross multiply. I am stuck on this blue pen. Time to change that up. Let's go purple. Cross multiply. 2x equals 45. No addition, so we're going to go right to division. Divide, and we get 22.5, or you can leave it as 45 over 2. On this one, we got to multiply that 3 times the entire x minus 6, and 6 times 7 is 42. We're going to distribute. We can distribute because it's not an absolute value. And then we're going to look at the left-hand side. That's where the x is. We want to get rid of the minus 18 by adding 18. So 3x is equal to 60. We're going to divide by 3, and we get x equals 20. Only time you get 2 answers, remember, is if you have absolute value. 2 sticks, 2 answers. Okay, this one's crazy. We have 3 times the the expression x plus 8. And on the other side, we have 2 times the expression x minus 2. We're going to distribute 3x plus 24. We're going to distribute equals 2x minus 4. Because I have pluses and variables on both sides, I'm going to move this variable term from the right to the left. Anytime I move, I add or subtract the opposite. So I have 1x plus 24 equals negative 4. I'm going to subtract 24. 1x is negative 28, and I can actually stop. 1x is the only time I don't have to divide because 1 times x is the same as x. So exciting! Okay, here we see the is, the of. Remember that is tells you have an equal sign also. So we've got a percent. We're going to put 15 over 100. Is 12 of what number? Then we're going to cross multiply. 15 times x and 12 times 100. We're going to divide by 15. And we get x equals 80. Stop! In the name of math, do you need a percent sign? Look at the problem. No, we don't. Look at the problem. Remember, you need a percent sign if it says what percent. Write an equation for each situation and solve show all work. Okay, so 5 less than a number, the product of 3 and a number is 12. So we've got is, that's our equal sign. It equals 12. Here's that then. So we're starting behind it. We need the product of 3 and a number. We don't know the number. And we want 5 less than that. You got to go slowly, guys, word for word, inch by inch. Add your 5. 3n is equal to 17. Divide by 3. N is equal to 17 thirds. Wow, that's a really lousy answer, isn't it? But it's the right answer, so there's what we've got. Jack's Body Shop can fix a bumper for $40, like lots of dollar signs there, per hour, plus $115 for parts. Jill's Body Shop can fix the same bumper for $30 per hour, plus $130. After how many hours will the 2 body shops charge the same amount? So I'm going to kind of deviate from the equation answer over here. I'm going to talk about Jack's Body Shop. It's going to cost $40 per hour plus $115 for parts. So the parts are $115. That's no matter where you go. It's going to be $115 for the parts when you go to Jack's. Then each hour is going to add $40. So it's 40 times the number of hours. 1 hour is $40, 2 hours is $80, 3 hours is $120, blah, blah, blah. For Jill, her body shop, it's $30 for an hour, but $130 for parts. So her parts are more expensive. The parts are $130, but it's only $30 for each hour. So you're paying more for the parts, but less for the labor. They want to know when will they charge the same amount. Same amount means equal. So we have 115 plus 40H has to equal 130 plus 30H. And I'm going to cheat and just put an equal sign right there. I'm going to move this 30H. So you want to set up each of the two problems, okay? So I have 115 plus 10H equals 130. I'm going to subtract the 115. 10H equals 15. I'm going to divide by 10. I'm running out of room. So H equals 1.5. So what that means is after 1.5 hours, they will be the same. So if it's going to take only 1 hour to put it on, which one's better? It's going to cost 2 hours, which one's better? So you got to figure out which one would be better, but that's not what they asked. They just asked when is it going to be the same. What will the cost be? Okay, so let's see. I had 115 plus 40H for Jack and 130 plus 30H for Jill. And we found out that H was 1.5 hours. So I don't have to do both of them. Look what happens over here. I take 114 plus 40 times that 1.5 hours. So that's 115 plus, I'm going to take 40 times 1.5. And I get 60. So I add 115 and 60 and I get 175. That's what it's going to cost. Let's see what happens at Jill's. It's 130 plus 30 for an hour and a half. So that's 130 plus 45, which comes out to $175. So if I want to know what the cost is going to be, I only have to put it into one of them. It doesn't matter which one because they're the same. Well, traveling to Disney World, look, there's Mickey. Hi, Mickey. We love Mickey. The Griswold family made 550 miles. They made it 550 miles in 10 hours of driving. They have 330 miles left on the trip. How many more hours will they be in the car? So, do you see how we got money, or we got hours and miles? So our proportion is going to be miles, and it's going to be hours. 550 is miles, and that 550 miles took them 10 hours. They have 330 miles left. How many hours is that going to be? We're going to cross multiply. Then we're going to divide. Did I do that right? And we get 6. 6 represents hours, so they're going to be in the car 6 more hours. Now, if you watched the Griswold family travel, that's going to be a long 6 hours, okay? Now, guys, use these notes while you're working on your review sheet because these are the types of problems that are going to be on your test. You've got a test coming up. When is your test? Your test is going to be Thursday or Friday, August 29th and 30th. So it depends on whether you're a red day or a black day, okay? Whoop, whoop! Good job, guys.